Thus far, we have discussed about input devices. Using input devices, we are able to enter data from a human form into a computer processable form. Now, what output devices do is the computer processes in terms of ones and zeros. Obviously, that kind of ones and zeros is not understandable to a human person at the other end. So, output devices display the ones and zeros in a format or a data which is understandable to people like me and you. The most common output device is the computer monitor. Invariably, every PC you're going to be using is going to have a computer monitor. So, a computer monitor is used to display information which can consist of images, graphics, as well as textual characters like A, B, C, and so on. An image or a character on a computer screen consists of a number of pixels or dots, also referred to as picture element. So when you see a character A, it is not just a single character, it consists of a number of pixels or number of dots. Now, there's an element called as aspect ratio of a monitor. So if you look at it, suppose this is 40 inches, this is going to be say 30 inches. So monitor's ratio is going to be width to height is going to be in the ratio of 4 is to 3. This is the popular ratio and this is known as the aspect ratio of a computer monitor. Now, if you have more number of dots in a unit area, let's say my unit area is 1 centimeter. If I have 100 dots in 1 centimeter, it's not going to be very clear. But if I have 1 million dots in 1 centimeter, it's going to be more clear than 100 dots. So the number of pixels or dots horizontally and vertically, horizontally the number of dots and vertically the number of dots is referred to as the resolution of a computer monitor. Common resolutions before were 640 into 400, 800 into 600. But today most of the monitors at least are 1024 into 2768 pixels of data or information. So you could have 1024 like that, you could have 2768 like this. Now, unlike a lot of other things, the measurement of a computer monitor or your television screen is quite unique. Okay, so here if you see here, the size is measured diagonally. That means it is measured across like this. So when you measure a monitor across, common sizes are 12 inches, 14 inches, 17 inches, 19, 21, and even beyond that. There are different types of monitors in the sense that different materials monitors is made up of. The old fashioned monitors were the CRT or cathode ray tube, which are very rarely used nowadays. Then you have the LCD or the liquid crystal display monitors. Then you have the thin film transistor monitors. Then you have the LED or the light emitting diode monitors. So these are kind of the common types of monitors available. Most likely you would be using an LCD or a LED kind of monitor today. Now, after taking a look at the first output device, the computer monitor, let's take a look at a very important output device known as a printer. Printer gives you information on the paper so that you can keep a permanent record of it. So there's a few terminologies associated with it. Information that is on the hard disk or displayed on the monitor of a computer is known as the soft copy. Once you print whatever is in the computer onto a paper, that is known as hard copy. All right, that is a fundamental difference. So when you are asked for a hard copy, that means you are asked for a printout. When you are asked for a soft copy, that means you are asked for a digital file through a pen drive or something. There are two types of printers in modern or common classification. One is known as impact and other is known as non-impact printers. We will be discussing different types of impact and non-impact printers over the next 2 or 3 videos. The impact printers print by striking pins or metal characters against ink ribbons onto the paper. So suppose this is my head, then this is my paper. In between this, there is going to be a ink ribbon. So when I strike the ink ribbon, this ink ribbon when it strikes, it's going to form characters on the paper. So these pins or characters which are striking against the ribbon are known as the print head. So printhead produces characters on the paper by striking against a inkhead. That is in case of a impact printer. Non-impact printer examples are like laser printer, inkjet printer, and say thermal printer. So we shall be talking about them also. So let's first start taking a look at what are the common properties of a common properties of a impact printer. Impact means there's a printer head is touching the ribbon physically, and because of the physical contact with the paper, it's able to produce the image or a text. So if a print head makes physical contact with the paper, such a printer is known as a impact printer, which is used to produce both images and text. Impact printers have certain advantages, but they have a lot of drawbacks. The biggest advantage is they are very reliable. They can be used for printing in bulk or in huge volume. The cost of operation is extremely low. Since they have physical impact mechanism, you can produce carbon copies. Since it strikes the ribbon, so between the ribbon and the paper, you can place a carbon paper and another paper, and you can produce multiple copies at the same time. But being mechanical devices, they are extremely noisy, okay, and again because of the mechanical operation are quite slow. You can't print on plastic transparencies which you use for showing on your overhead projector. Their speed is measured in terms of characters per second. Now we have taken a look at impact printers. Let's try to understand a little bit about non-impact printers. So non-impact printers, an example of a non-impact printer would be a laser jet, inkjet, and so on. Now non-impact printers are non-mechanical in operation. Since they do not have fixed characters, you can create various types of images, fonts. You can make it this big, you can make it small, you can make it wide and all. That is not very easily possible with a impact printer. It prints much faster, okay, and it can print characters, images of various size. The quality of printing of a non-mechanical or a non-impact printer is much higher because the number of dots per inch, DPI stands for number of dots or density per inch, which is referred to as the resolution, is extremely high. So if you have 300 dots per inch, it is going to be less clear than something which is 600. 600 in turn is going to be less clear than something which is 1200 dots per inch. It is useful in printing plastic or on plastic transparencies. Since it doesn't do any, the head doesn't create any impact with the paper, you cannot print carbon copies, so you have to print duplicates multiple times. Now, higher, as I told you, the higher the density per inch, better this is the quality of the printing. So the quality of a non-impact printer is measured in terms of density per inch. More dots or more density per inch, better the quality. Compared to the measurement of speed in as characters per second, here the speed is measured as pages per minute. It can print on various paper sizes like A3, A4, A2, A0, A and jumbo size paper. The paper I am using here is an example of a A4 size paper. It can print in different colors, it can print in various font sizes, typefaces, and different formats. Now, the flow of ink in non-impact printers, ultimately the ink has to be flowed. Here you have a ribbon, here you have an ink. The flow of ink in these particular printers is controlled by an internal electronic circuitry.